The first pushback from Myanmar security forces on the growing number of protesters burst from water cannon in an attempt to disperse some of the thousands who gathered in the capital, Naypyidaw. This is the third day of mass rallying against the military coup 1 week ago. A civil disobedience movement has been called, encouraging people to skip work and school to head out and protest. They're demanding that deposed civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and the more than 160 elected leaders, supporters, and activists, most who were detained during the early hours of the coup, be released immediately. Like at the weekend, when tens of thousands gathered in cities across the country, waving the colors of Suu Kyi's NLD party and flying the three-finger salute, now a symbol of the movement. The protests and calls for civil disobedience have become more organized in the days since last week's overthrow. With momentum building, labor unions, civil servants, teachers, Buddhist monks, and students have all taken to the streets.
We are an engineers union. We are not going to allow this military dictatorship to pass on to our next generation. We will continue our protest until this dictatorship fails. We are already looked down on by other Asian people and others around the world for growing up in an education system under military rule.
Australian Sean Turnell is one of those recently detained by officials. He was serving as an advisor to Aung San Suu Kyi.
We have called for the immediate release of Australian citizen Professor Sean Turnell from detention in Myanmar. Our embassy has been providing Professor Turnell with extensive support during this ordeal. He is a highly regarded advisor, a highly regarded member of the academic community.
There are signs the military is growing frustrated with the demonstrations. A message on state TV warned of action being taken against those who break the law.
Everyone has the right to act and speak freely living in the country, but those kinds of freedoms shouldn't disturb others. It should allow others to have different opinions. But these days people are disturbing and even threatening others by breaking laws while claiming it's democracy. If we don't follow the rules and regulations, our democracy can get damaged. Legal action should be taken against those who commit acts that harm the state's stability, public safety, and the rule of law.
Some supporters are determined to show their dedication to the cause. One group tattooing the line of an old revolutionary song on their arms. It reads, "We won't forget until the end of the world."
And Scott, you've been speaking to people on the ground in Myanmar. How determined are they to keep these protests going?
Exceptionally determined. Now, this is something that's very interesting when you look, it's only been a week and just kind of what has unfolded within those 7 days. You had kind of different groups come out and stage strikes, civil disobedience movements, and it has just swelled almost every day, definitely every day. And it's interesting to see how different the people are from different walks of life. Students, labor unions, monks, Buddhist monks coming out. So to see them all come together, all these different people from different walks of life within Myanmar, this has really kind of brought them together and then moving forward with a common cause. So they are very determined as they move forward. Now, something that's interesting is that we're hearing now, possibly for the first time later tonight, we hear from the head of the military who staged this coup. There's been an announcement in Myanmar that he might be addressing the country later on this evening. It'll be the first time we've heard from him. We've heard from state TV a couple of times earlier today, but this could possibly be the first time we hear from him. But again, to answer your question, when you look at those protesters on the ground, they're very, very resolute. They're very determined to move forward with this cause.
Thank you very much for that. Scott Heidler, live for us there in Bangkok.